While most of America's attention is on the coronavirus crisis at hand, the Trump administration is discreetly implementing an even stricter crackdown on immigration. Ozzy reports the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, which houses the refugee office managing custody of thousands of migrant children, has advanced policies favored by White House senior advisor Stephen Miller. Those policies include delaying placing children in safer shelters or homes and fingerprinting all adults in households that take them in. With me now is Michelle Brené. She's the Director of Migrant Rights and Justice Program for the Women's Refugee Commission, and Lindsay Toczylowski. She's the Executive Director of the Immigrant Defenders Law Center. Thank you both so much for being here. Lindsay, tell us what all this means and what it does to these children, what it means for them.
Sure. Well, this is another really dangerous policy coming from the Trump administration. You know, at this moment where we know that the safest thing is for children and families to be together and to be safe and together and sheltering at home, the Trump administration is looking at ways to keep children apart from their families. This is another example of where cruelty is really what's driving the policy. Particularly, one of the aspects of it is to keep children in Border Patrol custody, where we know more children have died in any other place in government custody. And so this is another policy that is really aimed at being cruel to the most vulnerable amongst us. And in addition to that, it flies in the face that of the advice that public health officials are giving us.
Lindsay, the Immigrant Defenders Law Center sent a letter to DHS and CDC highlighting that legal guidance issued by the UN Refugee Agency on asylum protections in the COVID-19 pandemic makes clear that the U.S. may not put in place measures that categorically deny people seeking protection an effective opportunity to ask for asylum. Why is that being ignored?
It's being ignored because the administration at this point is taking advantage of the fact that we have this global pandemic to further the xenophobic policies that they have been trying to put forward since the beginning of the administration. So while the rest of America is sheltering in place and listening to public health guidelines and our local governments are telling us to stay at home, they're using this moment to further policies that they have been trying to put in place all along. One of the most important is that they have been fundamentally dismantling our asylum system for the last 2 years. They've done it by making it so that victims of domestic violence cannot enter the system. They've done it by, at every single turn, looking for ways to keep unaccompanied children from vindicating their right to seek asylum. And this is one more way that they're doing it. They're using the crisis itself to close our borders to people who are seeking our protection once again.